The 21 attorneys general filing friends of court briefs while the school's alumni bring their voices to the table, urging a judge to help their alma mater. In their filing, the alumni say, quote, that the government's war against Harvard is not just about Harvard. It is an attempt to discredit and dismantle education, disrupt independent thought, and divide the nation. 5 fellow Ivy League schools are among the 24 universities also choosing to back Harvard, supporting its lawsuit against the Department of Health and Human Services, arguing that same point that cuts to funding don't just impact Harvard, but also impact the academic research of the community as a whole, stating, quote, that these cuts to research funding risk a future where the next path-breaking innovation, whether it is a cure for cancer or Alzheimer's or military technology, or the next internet, is discovered beyond our shores, if at all. Harvard's president, Alan Garber, trying to drive that point home with NPR last month. He says so many discoveries have come from Harvard and other research universities, and cuts to funding wouldn't just undermine that work, it would stop it dead in its tracks.
Everybody benefits from the research work of universities like ours. And it is not only about Harvard, and I think that's important to keep in mind. The kinds of changes that the administration has begun and is contemplating, which include deep cuts to the National Institutes of Health and to the National Science Foundation, will affect all research universities and will have a real impact on the ability of the United States to remain at the forefront of science and technology.
Garber now warning other universities this could soon be you, and they need to be firm in what they stand for: education, the pursuit of truth, and helping educate people for better futures. Joining us now, Kermit Roosevelt, David Berger Professor for the Administration of Justice at the University of Pennsylvania, one of the 24 universities supporting Harvard. Sir, thank you for your time this morning. Do you support Harvard's strategy fighting back against the administration thus far?
Well, I think Harvard was put in a position where they had no choice but to fight back, really, because the kind of control that the administration was demanding over what Harvard taught, who Harvard hired, who Harvard admitted, it's not something that's compatible with academic freedom. So Harvard really had no choice.
And is there power in numbers now that we're seeing more universities back Harvard?
Well, you'd hope so. I mean, the thing to understand is this is not just about Harvard. If the administration can do this to Harvard, they can do it to any school. They'll threaten to do it to any school. And they will take control of the whole system of higher education in this country in the way that, autocracies like Hungary have done.
Is there some compromise, though, if universities are going to accept federal funding, that they need to work with the government in order to adhere to some of the things that, at least in this case, this administration is accusing when it comes to discrimination in admissions, failing to protect students, particularly Jewish students, in the protests and in the hiring process?
Oh, sure. So all of that is absolutely true. There are federal laws that say if you get federal money, you have to comply with our anti-discrimination laws and things like that. But all of those laws have procedures that the government is supposed to follow if they're alleging a violation of those laws. And the administration simply hasn't followed any of them. They've just said, we think that you're in violation of these laws, and so we're going to cut all of your funding, which also is not allowed. There's just sort of a complete disdain for what the law is.
What is the risk in holding hostage research grants and the money going towards some of the research we just laid out?
Well, it threatens our status as the world's leading research nation. It threatens our status as a land of free inquiry, where we develop knowledge and we believe in the free market and the free exchange of ideas, and American innovation is really at risk.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.